Yeah, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Law of Insurance class. And yesterday the title about the third party insurance, compulsory third party insurance. And in this class, I would like to deal. Yes, I told you that I would like to deal in the class what? This is disappeared again. I have to find it out. Okay, it is came back. Third party insurance, because as per the syllabus is concerned, we do have it, the thing, isn't it? The third
Yes,
party
sir.
insurance, we do have it. So, read what I posted on the screen.
Good evening. Third party insurance,
Mhm.
Professor Dr. Mohammed Saheb Hussain.
Very good, very good. So, where do you come across the third party insurance? Is the question. In which place that you will come across the third party insurance? Yes? Any idea?
When the accident occurs, a person who injured by our vehicle, he may claim insurance
I
if we
said
paid
whether
the.
the third party insurance is there in marine insurance,
No, sir.
whether the third
Only
party
vehicle,
insurance is there in the fire
vehicle,
insurance.
vehicle, vehicle only, motor vehicle.
It is only in the motor vehicle you will find out the third party insurance.
Yes, sir.
So liability in the motor insurance, that is a third party insurance, is compulsory for all vehicle owners as per the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. It covers only your legal liability for the damage you may cause to a third party, bodily injury, death, and damage to the third party property while using your vehicle. The third party covers does not pay for repairs of damages to your vehicle and is therefore important to understand its scope in detail. Who are the first and second parties? Can you tell me? Who
Yes,
are the
sir.
first and second parties? Anyone?
A third,
I say, who are the first and second parties?
the owner of the vehicle, and the second person.
No. Yes.
Display is disturbing, sir. Who is third party is
The
visible?
first party is
Yeah,
the insured.
yeah. Insured.
The second party is the insurer. So here, a
Yes.
third party insurance policy is a policy under which the insurance company agrees to indemnify the insured person if he is sued or held legally liable for the injuries damage to a third party. The insurance
Yes, sir.
company and the insured are the first and second party. Oh, here the insurance company and the insured are the first and second party. That means first party is the insurance company and the second party
Yeah.
is
Insurer.
నో ఇన్సూరర్ ఉంటే కంపెనీ కదండి.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Insured.
Insured, you should say. The
Insured.
insurance company and the insured are the first and second parties, and any other who suffer the death or injury or the person who claims damages against you is the third party. The first party is the insurance company, the second party is the insured,
The
the
party.
third party is the person who other than the first and second party are come under the third party. Is it clear? Say yes. Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Good.
Yes,
So,
sir.
who is the third party? That means Motor Vehicle Act 1988 under Section 145, Clause G. Third party includes the government. Third party includes everyone other than the contracting parties to the insurance policy. Means you eliminate the insurer, you eliminate the insured, first and second party, you eliminate them, then whoever comes for the claiming amount is called third party. But he is a person traveling in another vehicle, or he may be a person on the pedestrian traveling on the pedestal, path,
Yes, sir.
or walking on the road, or a passenger in the vehicle itself, which is the subject matter of insurance policy. See, even the person who is traveling in the insured vehicle also said to be the third party. So that is the same. One walking on the road means బాటసారి అంటారా అండి ఏమనండి? Pedestrian బాటసారి, a person who goes on the road.
Yes, sir.
Or a passenger in the vehicle itself, which is subject matter of the insurance policy. If that vehicle which is insured and a passenger sitting over there, even that person also comes under the third party. So what is the act only cover? So act only or third party policy covers only your legal liability for the damage caused to a third party, like bodily injury, death, and damage to the third party property while using your vehicle. Third party insurance does not cover damage to your own vehicle. That means insured vehicle is not covered under the third party. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So how act only policy include PA? That is a risk, personal accident risk. Third party or act only policy also include personal accident. And how the personal accident will be included? Risk of an owner come driver in the event of the permanent disablement or death in an accident. An inbuilt cover of the 1 lakh in two-wheeler and 2 lakhs in all other vehicles for the owner come driver while traveling, mounting or dismounting from the vehicle is available. Accidental cover for the co-passenger is optional. If the co-passenger is there, it is an optional, they say. But the owner who is traveling in the insured vehicle, he is said to be the personal accident, it will be covered. I repeat, third party or act only policy also includes personal accident risk of an owner come driver in the event of the permanent disablement or death in an accident. An inbuilt coverage 1 lakh in two-wheelers, owner come driver, not we don't say driver, rider will say, two-wheeler, no. Rupees 2 lakhs in all other vehicle for the owner come driver while traveling or mounting or dismounting from the vehicle is available. So PA will be covered of the owner of the vehicle who is a driver, owner of the vehicle who is a rider, whether he got the accident, whether he got the disablement, or whether he got the death, he will be covered under it. Who are the beneficiaries? Third, then motor third party insurance or the act only cover is a statutory requirement under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. It is referred to as a third party's cover since the beneficiary of the policy is someone other than the two parties involved in the contract. Number one, insurance company. Party two, it is the insured. So that is the sequence. The first party is the insurance company. The second party is the
insured.
Other than these two, if anybody comes over there, that comes under the third party. So the policy covers the insured's legal liability for the death or disability or third party loss or damage to third party. The victim can claim for the compensation under no fault liability also or fault liability also of the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. However, unlimited compensation is only for the bodily injury. For the bodily injury, there is unlimited compensation available or loss of life. In case of damage to property, the insurance liability is limited to the maximum of 7.5 lakhs. It comes to the property is concerned, it is not more than 7.5 lakhs ceiling, but as per the injury is concerned, either the fault or no fault of the limited compensation, it will be unlimited compensation is available for the bodily injury or the loss of life for the third party who comes under it. But the property is concerned only 7.5 lakhs, not more than that, they will get it. So who decides third party premium? Naturally, the premium will be ready reckoner is there, which is provided by the IRDAI. What is IRDAI?
Sir, I don't know, sir. Pass on.
Insurance Regulatory Authority. Insurance Regulatory, that is authority is called IRDA. Okay. In third party policy, the premium don't vary with the value of the what is being insured, because what is insured is the legal liability, and is not possible to know the advance what would be the legal liability in the case of the accident. The compensation to the accident victim is decided by the Workman Compensation Court or Motor Vehicle Accident Tribunal or IRDAI, done away with the tariffs. Now the premium on the third party liability cover only the fixed by IRDA.
IRDA.
Yes, that is the Insurance Regulatory D stand authority. What is D stands for? Let me check it. IRDAI. Yes, yes. This is IRDAI, regulatory body. IRDAI.
IRDA.
Insurance. Regulatory authority is insurance. But I have a doubt for the. Yes.
Development Authority, sir.
This is development. Yes. You are right. You are right. It's the development authority.
I already.
IRDA means it is the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Is the apex body that supervises and regulates the insurance sector in India. So it resolves the issues also, IRDAI, in matters comes. Okay. So Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India is IRDA. It also fixes the third party premium, how much it would be there. So mandatory by law, third party covers protects you against the legal liability of the accident. It also covers the damage caused to any surrounding property. The compulsory nature of the car third party insurance is justifiable. It makes the process easier for the injured person to recover money from the insured or insurer. Under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988, mandate the third party insurance for every vehicle used at public place. Every vehicle means including the motorbike, is it not? Yes. Legal provisions. You read these legal provisions. What are the legal provisions? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Read.
Part 11 of the Act deals with the third party rights. Section 32D of the Insurance Act of 1938 also creates an obligation on part of the insurer to provide for insurance dealing with third party risks.
Yes. So legal provision of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988, it regulates motor insurance or automobile insurance and any third party liabilities and the right that arises from it. However, Part 11 of the Act deals specifically with the third party rights, especially Section 32, capital D of the Insurance Act of 1930. It is not 1938, it is 1988 only. The old Act is 1939.
It's 1988,
Also creates old Act is 1939. And the part of the insurance to provide the insurance dealing with the third party risk. So, in accordance with the MV Act, there are certain requirements to be followed for the third party insurance plans, which are as follows. What is the requirement? Let us see that. Section 146 of the Act also provides that the driver of the vehicle must always carry at least bodily injury, liability, and coverage for the liability for the property damage. So, Section 146 clearly says that the driver of the vehicle must always carry at least bodily injury liability, means some insurance liability, injury liability, and coverage of the liability property damage. He should have to carry out. In the case of the Govindan versus New India Insurance Company Limited, this is one of the case law. In this case law, let us see what is discussed over here. So in this case law, the V should be small letter, okay. And here V should be small letter. Okay, the court held that Govindan versus New India Insurance Company Limited, the court held that no clause in an insurance policy can override the third party insurance policy. In any clause in the Insurance Act cannot override the third party insurance. This has been specifically mentioned as the insurance sector for the motors have two types of insurance, namely first party and third party insurance. So section 147.1, that is the clause 1, no, subsection 1, an insurer authorized to do so must provide for any damage to the third party's vehicle caused by the insured. These policies are required to cover any accident in accordance with the value of the liability incurred. A certificate to be granted in the prescribed format containing the particulars as prescribed must be handed over to the insured. So, a limited liability would be there for the property damage, that is not more than 7.5 lakhs, but unlimited damages should be there for the bodily injury and permanent disablement or temporary disablement. Yes, in section 157, in accordance with this section, the certificate of the insurance can be transferred to a new owner of the vehicle if when the vehicle is transferred to a new owner. In order to make the required changes with the authority in question, the transfer is required to apply within 14 days to make the changes necessary. So, whenever the person has purchased the vehicle, later on he will sell the vehicle. At that instant, he has to try to bring the notice of the insurance company to change from his name to the new purchaser name. Otherwise, no, there is a litigation problem would be there. See, he sold the property. Okay. But the insurance, at the time when he made it, he is the policy holder, the first owner. But when he sold it, he should have to bring the notice of the insurance company and try to change the policy also. The name of the policy holder should be changed. Suppose if it is did not change it, when meanwhile an accident occurred over there, but still they say the insurance company should have to pay either name is changed or my name is not changed. Is it? Is it not the clear?
Yes, sir.
Either name is changed also the insurance company should have to pay. Either name is not changed also the insurance company should have to pay. Suppose if that car when they met with an accident, there is no insurance. Now you tell me. Next. Yes?
Yes, sir.
At the time of the accident, there is no insurance. Insurance is lapsed. Who will pay the
Everything is
compensation?
lost, sir.
Huh? Try, no matter. There is no minus marks. At the time of the
No
accident,
insurance,
yes,
no compensation, sir.
the owner has to pay the compensation.
Yeah,
Clear?
sir.
నో కాంపన్సేషన్ అంటే ఎట్లానండి, వాడికి దెబ్బలు తగిలినాయి, ఇంజురీ అయిపోయింది, ఫ్రాక్చర్ అయిపోయింది, పర్మనెంట్ డిజేబుల్మెంట్ అయింది, వాడి ఇన్సూరెన్స్ వాడు మళ్ళీ రెన్యువల్ చేయించుకోలే. ఇట్ ఈస్ సచ్ ఎ థింగ్ వుడ్ బి దేర్. న్యాచురల్లీ ఇట్ ఇస్ ద ఓనర్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ టు పే ద కాంపన్సేషన్. సార్ ఓనర్ దగ్గర ఏమో పైసలు లేవు కాదండి, ఓకే, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద అమౌంట్ దట్ హీ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ దట్ మట్ బి సీజ్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద seized and court will pay the compensation to the man and who suffered a lot because of the negligence on the part of this man. Okay, in the case of the Karnataka SRTC versus New India Insurance Company Limited, the vehicle in question was only given on hair purchase తెలుసు కదండి,
Sir.
hair purchase.
Hire purchase means no, sir. When we take vehicle through bank loan or any other financial assistance.
You pay half of the amount, the bank will pay the rest of the amount, and you have to give the blank checks to the bank, and every month it
Yeah.
will be deducted from your salary or from your pension or from your any recurring income that you are going to get it. So in the hire purchase, in accordance to an agreement, it was not transferred completely because still it is in the name of the bank. or the financial institution which given the loan to you. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was held by the court that the insurer would be held liable to, even in case of an agreement, lease or hire. In case of agreement for the hire, can't be excluded merely on the basis that there is a case of extended contractual liability. No, in the hire purchase also, even though the name is still with the banker, not changed to the purchaser, but still the insurance company should have to pay the compensation when in the transaction still it will be paid. The once you pay all the arrears, all the installment, then automatically the bank will change the name from the name of the bank to your name. Is it clear?
Bank will give you a
No
certificate, sir.
objection. No objection certificate they will give it.
Clearance.
And
Clearance certificate. CC.
clearance certificate also it will give it. Then you show it to the clearance and no objection, and then you apply in the insurance company, then it will be on your name. Thus, even if the transfer of the vehicle take place, even without the providing the notice to the insurer, still the liability of the insurer will not cease. Even though you did not give the notice that you are going to sell your car, but meanwhile there an accident occurred over there, but still the insurance company should have to pay the compensation. Agreed? Agreed. Say yes. Okay. The rights of the third party. Rights to remain unaffected. What are the rights to remain unaffected? Let us see that. Right to remain unaffected arises only in 3 cases. What are the 3 cases? Number 1, the first situation is when an award or a judgment has been given against the insured. Yes, number 1. Number 2, the second situation arises when the liability of the insurer is unlawfully restricted. Number 3, and finally, when there is a settlement between the insured and the insurer. At that instance, the remain unaffected. Who right to remain unaffected? The third party insurance. The MV Act has prescribed that an insurer can pay only up to the sum of liability issued. With the bodily injury, unlimited. If the property injury is ceiling 7.5 lakhs. If there are any award or judgment which has been passed against the insured means the vehicle on whose name it is there, insured, the third party claim will not be ignored. Third party definitely will have to get it. Either it is the name of the insurer or it is the name of the insured. Doesn't make any difference.
Yes, sir.
It is not an absolute right. It can be exercised only if the insured has been notified by the court with regard to the proceedings. Naturally, wherever the accident occurred over there, they will bring the notice of the insurance company, number 1. Number 2, nearest police station also they will make a complaint to get the FIR. On granting the insurance certificate, who will grant the insurance certificate?
Sir?
Who will grant the insurance certificate?
Insurance company.
Insurance company will, after fulfilling all the conditions over there, finally they will issue the bond. The bond is nothing but the insurance certificate. It comes through you by the postal service. So only those clauses shall be valid which don't hamper the insurance liability. Unless the third party is a party to a settlement for a claim, the settlement will not be valid. Now the question comes, whether the settlement for a claim, the settlement will not be valid, third party. Why not? Suppose the insurance company say that, okay, you got the damage this much, okay, we are going to pay you this much. But if you want to file a case, it takes years together. So instead of tomorrow chicken, today egg is better.
Better than.
Many insurance litigations are through the Lok Adalat only it will be settled. Mostly.
Yes, sir.
Because they will calculate it and so. Your advocate also say, instead of waiting for 1 more, 3 more, 5 more months, you are going to get this much. Now they are going to give you this much. Why don't you accept it? Because they want to reduce the cases. Number 1, even the insurance company wants to reduce their burden. Similarly, the death of the insured party does not put a full stop to the ongoing cause of action against the insurer. Suppose the insured died, can't the third party will get the amount from the insurance company? Answer yes. He will get it
No, sir.
even though insured died, doesn't matter. Because it is not the insured who is going to pay the money, it is the insurance company. Sir, insurance company dies, a company will not die. It is a juristic
Right.
personality. It is not a human being. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. An
Company
insured,
will existed.
yeah, if one director
But
die, when
persons
one
will
director
change.
goes, then another director will come, assistant director will come, or superintendent will come, any body will come, and the body will represent it. It will not die, it is a perennial. So an insured has to pay the estimated amount of the damages to the third party in case of any damage for which the insured had not taken a sufficient care to safeguard the damage or loss. Thus, in such a circumstance, the third party remains unaffected. See, now the question comes over there. Either whose fault would be there. It doesn't make any difference. But the victim should be paid the compensation by the insurance company. Later on, if they find the insurance company, there is a fault of the owner of the vehicle, then that can be reimbursed from him. If it is so, suppose the owner, he is the driver and fully drunken and driving the car, you tell me.
Yes, sir.
At that instance, victim definitely the insurance company will pay it first. But later on, in the contract, it's clearly mentioned that a drunken driving is strictly prohibited. And he is drunken in a such a way which is more than the limit. At that instance, his negligence on the part of it, and then the insurance company try to claim from the insured. So, right to receive information. Any person against whom a claim of damage is made, but it is insured or insured, but it insured or uninsured, doesn't matter,
Um,
must provide any information to the third party as when necessary. Suppose the vehicle is uninsured. Can't you bring the notice of the police station? The insured is required to
no,
mention whether or not has been insured, whether the vehicle is insured or whether a vehicle is not insured. But third party definitely bring to the notice of the police and bring to the notice of the, I don't know. Suppose
owner.
if the vehicle is earlier insured by the particular company, they came to know, then they will issue it. Because who will produce that insurance papers? Who will produce the insurance papers at the police station?
Owner, sir. Owner.
The owner of the
Owner of the
vehicle.
vehicle.
Either
Owner of
he
the
is
vehicle will produce
either the
the
owner of the vehicle,
papers.
whether he is driving or the somebody on behalf of his driving and met with an accident, he should have to produce it, the paper. Suppose at the time of the accident, there is a insurance is lapsed. That means the owner should have to pay it. And later he took the insurance, because if he not taken the insurance, the police will seize it and keep it in the custody. So now once they made the insurance, it will be reserved on the bond or on the bail, and later on the proceedings will be continued. Then see, where the time of the accident there is no insurance, but later on that he made the insurance. For the later act, can the insurance company would be held liable? Yes?
Yes, sir.
No. ఇన్సూరెన్స్ చేసిందేమో ఫస్ట్కి, యాక్సిడెంట్ అయిందేమో 25th నెక్స్ట్ ఎర్లియర్ మంత్ది.
Not covers, sir. Not covers.
It will not be
If it
covered
will
over there. It will not be covered because the accident happened before, then the insurance came later. Okay, if you have to make such a strategy, that you would have to make it from the backdate insurance, naturally that it will be covered over there. Now the transfer of the rights of the insured to the third party. When the third party raises a claim against the insured with respect to an event that has been insured, the insurer undertakes to pay the damages, definitely, because it is there on the contract. If the insured is insolvent, the person who is insolvent now, who insured, then all the rights that he holds in relation to the insurer will be transferred to vested to the third party in the same manner. all the rights which are there for the insured will come to the third party, and third party will claim against the insurance company. An insurance policy cannot impose a condition changing the same. Once the rights have been transferred, the insurer will treat the liability for the damage in the same position as he would have been to the insolvent injured. See, whether the insured is insolvent or whether the insured is injured, in whatever the case may be, if there is insurance at the time, then definitely the insurance company will pay all the debts, all the clearances to the third party. However, there may be situations where the liability of the damage is more than the value insured. Suppose the damage is 2 lakhs and the worth of the vehicle is 1 lakh. Then at the time,
only ceiling of 1 lakh, sir.
so here let us see, in such a case, the insured would be liable to pay the balance to the excess to the value of the third party. See, the insurance company will give the limited liability indemnity. Whatever the extent amount would be there because of the third party got injured, that should have to be paid from the pocket of the insured, not the insurance company. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, liability of the insurer towards the third parties. In accordance with the section 147, subsection 2 of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988, a policy must cover the liability of the accident irrespective of the amount of liability along the limit of the 1/10, 100,000, 60,000. Is it 6,000? 6,000.
6,000.
6,000. It is 6,000. See, in sometimes, no, a policy covers the liability for the incident irrespective of the amount of the liability along with the limit of the 6,000. If a bodily injury will be there, a total amount of the 6,000 will be paid. Of course, now 6,000 is a very, very meager amount. It may be increased. High Court of the Madras is opined that if the liability of the insurer does not exist, then this bar shall cease to exist at all. It would be considered void. See, in any case, if there is the insurance, then definitely the insurance company will pay. Later on, they will think that whose fault that accident occurred over there. From there, they will try to reimburse. The High Court of the Madras has opined that if the liability of the insurer does not exist, of course, there is no liability of the insurer when there is no such a contract would be there between the insured and the insurance company, then this bar shall cease to exist as well. It will be, there is no liability would be there. It will be considered as a void because it is not covered in the insurance company contract. Which one? Drunken driving. Suppose if that fellow who is driving the vehicle, number one, drunken driving, number two, valid license is not there, then first and foremost, the insurance company should have to pay. Later on, they will claim from the owner. Drunken driving as well as if the license is expired. As per the finalized norms, the compensation for a person killed in any hit and run cases. See, hit and run cases, nobody knows who hit and who ran away. At that time, the fixed amount 2 lakhs for the grievous injuries, it will be 50,000 compared to the current compensation rupees 25 and 12,500. Now it is increased 1 lakh or 2 lakhs in case of the death for the car. In case of the bodily injury for the motorbike, it is a 50,000. Sir, who will pay this amount, sir? Hit and run case.
Insured,
Police department will pay or collector will pay.
the collector will be.
It is the order of the collector through the mandal. What is that? Tahsildar. That is the revenue mandal
Yes.
officer. MRO. Through the
MRO.
MRO concern jurisdiction where it is there, it will be passed on. Suppose the amount is there, they will release it. If the amount is not there, installment they will pay it. But later on, when they get the amount, they will pay the other installments. So now let us see the case law. How the case laws are there. National Insurance Company versus Swaran Singh. The given case law focuses on the scope of the contractual and statutory liability and whether a third party claim can be excluded on the basis of third basis claims. See, now the condition is no vehicle should be on the road without the third party insurance. Is it clear? Because that will be paid in the showroom itself. On road, they will make everything. So naturally it becomes a mandatory because of the changes in the provision to the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. So it was held by the court that a contract that includes a condition taking away the rights of the third party would be void. No, third party definitely will be going to get the compensation. But any contract or anything which is contrary to remove the rights of the third party, it is a void. The exception would be in accordance with the MV Act under the provision 149(2). But when he will not be there, when he himself is the 100% fault at that instance, then the liability will be excluded in most of the cases. An insurer cannot award the statutory liability, and they have right against the insured. According to the provisos, it is a judgment established that the liability of the insurer, it cannot be questioned. See, we cannot question the liability of the insurer because insurer definitely has to pay till the insurance is there, and he paid the premium, and insurance is in existence. And the no fault liability or fault liability doesn't make any difference. If the excess amount would be there, that will be borne by the insured. But whatever the target amount is agreed by the party, that will lump sum will be given by the insurer to the injured. So National Insurance Company Limited versus Lakshmi Narayan Dutt. Can you read this case law?
Sir,
This case.
National Insurance Co. Limited versus Lakshmi Narayan Dutt. The given case law explains the Section 149 of Motor Vehicle Act describes the duty of the insurer with respect to execution of judgments in favor of third parties. It was also held by the court that there is no contractual liability between a third party and the insured himself. Itself.
Yes. So in this case law, what is they said? The National Insurance Company Limited versus Lakshmi Narayan Dutt. The given case law explained that Section 149 of the MV Act describes the duty of the insurer, means first party, with respect to the execution of the judgment of the court given by the in the favor of the third parties, means third party's favor, the judgment is given by the court, competent court, that is the Motor Vehicle Act, Tribunal Act, to the insurer. So it was held by the court that there is no contractual liability between the third party and the insured himself. Even though there is a insured, there is no liability would be there, but still the insurance company should have to pay to the third party. ఎందుకంటే తెలుసా, థర్డ్ పార్టీ is the beneficiary. Sir, is there any contract that I am going to hit you? Third party is unknown till the accident happens. Is it clear? థర్డ్ పార్టీ అనేది ఎవరికి తెలియదండి. దారిన పోయే దాన ఎవరు మనకు తెలుసా? We don't know. Even though there is no contract between the insured and the third party, but still the insured, on behalf of the insured, the insurance company should have to pay, even though he is not party to the contract. Is it clear?
Sir.
So yes, Ayyappan versus United India Insurance Company Limited, it was held that intent behind the ensuring compulsory third party insurance for owners of the vehicle is to provide for any damage inflicted to the third party in account of the vehicle. Why they want this? So security is a very much important factor. If the security is not there for the human life, then naturally it is the failure of the government, we can say. Number one, it is the failure of the society also, we can make it out. Because if any fellow is a vagabond killing each one in the street, then naturally the street people only at last kill that fellow. Because if you don't kill the street people, that fellow kills everybody. In the self-defense, they kill that fellow. Because before they are going to the police station, that fellow will kill this fellow. So that he did it, no. Before he attacks it so that he will become a failure, and later on that succumbs to death. There is a different issue. So now they must be able to get the sufficient damage in case of any injuries or even death. I told you that property is there, the limited amount. For the injury is there, okay, he will get whatever the injury that he got it. But the insurance company pay to that much extent only the amount, but the rest of the amount will be borne by the
Policy holder. Policy holder, sir.
Policy holder, insured.
Yeah.
The intention of the legislature was to protect the user of the road who are faced with the risk of the vehicle on the land. Thus, unless a third-party insurance contract is no force, vehicle cannot be put to use on the road. You are not supposed to keep your vehicle on the road. If once you keep the vehicle on the road, the presumption is that the vehicle is worth to move. Number one, the vehicle having all licenses. National Insurance Company Limited versus Nicoletta Ruhatagi. It was held that irrespective of the fact of whether the insurer is a nationalized company or not, the intention of the third-party insurance is to protect the interest of the third-party insurance and not the company itself. See, there are many private insurance companies are there, but there are also nationalized insurance companies also there. Whether it is the private insurance company or the nationalized insurance company, it doesn't make any difference to the third party. Whoever may be, the insurance company should have to come to the rescue of the third party. When the insurance is in existence, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Insurance expired అయిపోయింది అనుకోండి, why that fellow will pay you?
Yes, sir.
He will not pay you. It is the owner who
Owner
will
of
pay
the vehicle should pay.
It is the owner who should have to be burden on him.
Sir.
So in conclusion, what I want to say is, over the last couple of decades, the Indian insurance sector has grown by leaps and bounds. There are many mushroom growth of the insurance companies are now in the market. Owing to the increasing level of the vehicular traffic, sir, రోడ్ల మీద చచ్చిపోయిన వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య ఎక్కున్నది when you compare with the pandemic. Are you following me? Because I saw
Yes,
it is viral. The people who die with the road accident is more because of the various factors. Number one, by drinking. Number two, by the stress they drive it. Number three, the speed they go it. Number four, road not proper way. Number five, they don't use the proper gadgets like helmets and other things. Owing to the increasing level of the vehicular traffic, the need for the protection of the users of the road has increased proportionately. సార్ ఎట్లయినా యాక్సిడెంట్ అవుతుందని మనం కారు కొనొద్దా అండి?
ఊరుకోరు సార్.
మీరు if you don't buy the car also, okay, no matter. If you are going by the side of the path, if your nucal is over, then the fellow who is coming from the back will ditch you and you will die on the spot.
ప్రాప్తం.
అది because we cannot say that when
No
the
one
life is there.
escape from the risk.
Yes, we cannot say that. But one thing is very much clear. Your life and death both are written on the same day. Not same day. It will be written when you die. It will be written when you take birth also. That is the people will say, the mythology also. Thus, on reading of this article or this paper, we can arrive at the following conclusions. What is that? With regard to the difference between the third-party insurance and the first-party insurance, the beneficiary of the third-party insurance is not the insured himself.
Yes.
Who is the benefited here in the third-party insurance? Only third party will get the benefit.
Only third person.
So insured will not get any benefit. But the
Yes,
payer is insurance company. It is a third party who has been affected due to the action of the owner of the vehicle. Either owner of
Yes,
the
sir.
vehicle or the driver of the vehicle or any may be on behalf of the owner. Thus,
Yes, sir.
though he is not a part of the contract itself, that person who met with an accident or who caused the accident is not the part of the contract, but he is the beneficiary of the contract because he got injured over there. That's why he will take the benefit of it. Secondly, the insured does not gain any benefit through the third party insurance. Only if there is a situation where there has been no damage or death to the third party, the insurance amount is returned on maturity to the insured. I don't think because in premium there is no maturity. In the
Yes,
premium
sir.
there is no maturity because it is only the life insurance there is a maturity. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. The thirdly and finally, the value of the damage itself cannot be determined beforehand. Can you imagine that the case is going to be the accident is going to be happen now and this much damage would be there? No, we cannot
No, sir.
anticipate. When once the accident occurred over there, then we can calculate how much the assessment of the damages. In the damages assessment also we study in the law of tort what is the age of the victim and what is the position, status, how many dependents are there, and there is a there is a what I say age theory is there, year theory, multiplication theory is there. Suppose if the accident will not happen, he is supposed to live up to 65 years. That is the average age. The accident happened at the 40 years, means 25 years that he is supposed to live. But after that, only 20 years later only that he will be retired. Of course, if it is a government employee, now government employment is 61 years now. Is
Yes.
it or not?
In AP 62, enhanced it up to
For, for, for,
62.
for, the, for the UGC and other people, it is a 60, 62. For the
62,
national law schools, it is a 65.
65.
So, on the basis of their assessment, a sum of damages arrived it. So, a sum of damage will be calculated only after the accident occurred over there. If it is lesser than the equal to the amount of the insured, they are paid from the insured amount. If it is higher, the insured has to pay the excess amount from the pocket. If the lesser would be there, the insurance company will pay it from their insured, whatever the premium would be there, which is pulled up. If the excess amount would be there, then the the extra amount will be paid from the pocket of the insured. Thus, the third party insurance is considered to be the essential to protect the people's livelihood and secure their future. So, it is a mandatory on the part of the every vehicle which you are put on the road should be having the third party insurance. However, there are a couple of suggestions which can be implemented as follows. Number one, the calculation method for the sum of the insurance for a private car can be tweaked to keep in the mind the manufacturer's accessories and the on-road pricing includes the tax registration. Of course, there are guidelines from the IRDA also. That is the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India must
Authority.
maintain a repository that will connect the common data pool of the insured driving habits. See, when we are issuing the driving license, do they check whether this fellow is a alcoholic or a teetotaler? How could you know that?
Yes,
Because that fellow, when he comes now, he did not take the alcohol. Then he will come and give the test and he will get the license.
yes,
Okay, thus the insurance premium to be paid shall be determined accordingly. This would be a welcome change of the policyholders who pay the huge premiums. But overall, see, nobody would want to see that they indulge in the accident. The accident happens because of the decision they cannot take it properly while driving. So that is the very much interesting factor would be there to know how the accident will avoid them. So we do have sometimes a long question would be there and sometimes a short question will be asked regarding this point. But what I want to say is still because we are okay, insurance, yes. So according to the syllabus, when you have seen it, syllabus of the law of insurance, yes, it is there. So here we are there.